Welcome to the world of Zip System Building Enclosures, where we believe in striving for optimal air, water, and thermal management, no matter the region or climate. Because when you have the right products to do the right job the right way, the first time, you're building to a higher code, the zip code.
I'm Jake Bruton with Aarow Building in Columbia, Missouri and Kansas City. And today I want to talk to you about subcontractors. And more specifically, I want to talk to you about how to get subcontractors to do things the way you want them done. Let's do it now. This is going to sound like I'm tooting our own horn. I think that might be the first time I've ever said that, actually. Tooting our own horn. But chances are the reason that you are here on the Build Show, the reason you're watching these videos is you want to learn. You want to be better, you want to grow as a builder, you want to explore other techniques or business methods or practices. And that's what this video is wholly about, exploring and being better and getting your subcontractors to do the same. Which means not doing the same thing that we did on the last project, not getting into a groove where we only do one thing, trying constantly to understand what the best possible method could be, trying new things, figuring out what works, what doesn't, and trying to grow your business or raise your business, a rising tide floating all boats, including your subcontractors. Which means you have to ask them to do things that they may not have done before. So how do we get them to be on board? Because they could go work for somebody else and not have to deal with the headache of trying to convince their crew members that this is the right way to do things and that we should be doing things differently and that something should be done differently. This is admittedly one of our largest challenges. Our company is larger than what our in-house carpentry force can handle on its own, so therefore we have to have subcontractors and we have to have buy-in and participation from our subcontractors. So it starts, just like a building, in the pre-planning process. Number one, we're not a get 3 bids company and then decide which subcontractor we're going to work with. That, I believe, the same way as if someone was asking a contractor to give them 3 bids, promotes the race to the bottom mentality. So we ask that our subcontractors give us a fair and accurate price on every project. And we expect them to stand behind their price, to not gouge us, and to do a good job. And so when we ask for a price on something, when we ask for a bid on something, the very first thing that they know, we're asking you for this number because we're serious about doing this project and you're the one giving us a bid, and therefore we want you to be the one to tell us what it costs, and we'll include your number in our bid. In other words, we have one concrete guy that we really like working with that I know gives us a fair price, and we ask him how much it's going to cost. Hey, Brock, how much does it cost to put in this foundation? Like this with all these details. It's going to be this number. Okay, I'll let you know if we get the job. Hopefully we get the job and you'll get to do the foundation. But they know that I'm not going to hunt and pick and waste their time and try to get them to low bid to get a project. I want them to put an accurate number in so that they're comfortable doing a good job. How do I get them to do that? Number one, we require plans for our projects. There are houses being built in my market with 2 pages of plans. An elevation and a front elevation and a plan view. I don't know how people do it. It's just people making it up as they go. There's no way that your subcontractors can give you an accurate price with absolutely no detail. So we have the benefit of we require a good set of plans and we require a really good scope of work. And by having the two, we have information. And the more information that we can provide to our subcontractors, the better our bid number coming back will be. So if I say my concrete guy, hey, it's a 24 by 36 with 10-foot wall basement, that's just a rectangle. He'll give me a number. But if I say it's 24 by 36, we're going to use fiberglass bar, We want to have you do this waterproofing system on the outside. There's some water elevation stuff, so we need to make sure that we have 2 layers of drain tile. That's a completely different number. Like giving the most information we can possibly give is the highest opportunity for our subcontractor to get an accurate number and therefore be able to stand behind that number in the end. The other thing that we ask is we ask our subcontractors to charge for what they're wanting. And by that, I mean, it's more work. A lot of times we're asking them to do more work. If we're asking you to do more work, we want you to be paid for doing more work. We're not trying to lowball and get over on somebody or cause somebody to go out of business. We want long-term partnerships with thriving companies that are willing to do things the way that we're going to do them to provide the highest quality product that we can to our clients. And by allowing them to make money and letting them charge more for doing more, we ensure that they're more likely to succeed in the long run. Obviously, that doesn't mean everybody's going to be around, but that's the first step. Step number 2 is communication. Site visits are absolutely key. I make site visits. The project managers make site visits. Our carpenters, if a carpenter goes by to pick up something from the job, he'll stop and check in with guys. They know that they're supposed to go, hey, do you have any questions? Our team has done it. There might be new members on the framing team that haven't done it yet, and it's a great time for somebody to go, yeah, I don't understand why we're doing this and this and this. Can you explain it? Okay, well, if we're communicating and we're trying to justify to you, we go first to the plans. Was it on the plans? Obviously, we're going to build the house to what the plans say. Is it in the scope of work? We're going to build the house to what the scope of work says. This is what the clients contracted us to do, and so therefore, we're going to do it. Next, what does the code say? We get arguments all the time that are like, well, this is the way we should do it. Well, code doesn't allow that, so we can't do it. So there's no reason for us to even talk about it. I have no problem getting the code book out of my truck and going, let's look it up to make sure. But a lot of times we'll run into things and I'll go, no. This is what the code says. Check it out. Here's how this applies. This is the reference table. Or we'll bring up the APA 30 standard for how things are supposed to be fastened, how sheathing's supposed to be fastened or whatever. And we'll have a group discussion about it. Next, what does the manufacturer or the governing body like APA say? If we can't justify what we're doing with those things, then we have to have a science-based, this is why the air barrier has to go like this and then up, and that allows us to make this connection, and so therefore we'll be in a good spot if we do this. Along those lines, though, we also have to listen. We have to have the conversation with our subcontractors in a way that they understand that they're being heard. They need to know they have a voice, we respect what they're doing, and we're certain, and they're certain that when they go, hey, Mr. Contractor, I don't think this is right, we'll go, okay, tell me why, let's talk it through, let's look in the code book, let's figure out what the answer is. It's not, I've been doing this for 30 years, so therefore I get to be the one that tells you how to do it, or I'm the contractor, so you're going to do it my way, and there is no other way. I might be wrong. My project manager might be wrong. The subcontractor also might be wrong, but we're going to do our best to make sure that we're considering what they're saying, because our goal is not to be right. Our goal is to build the best house possible. If we have input from others and we take everything into consideration, chances are we're going to build the best house possible. Last is just in that realm of being on site. We have to review the work that they're doing. We can't just show up and go, how's it going today? Do you need anything from me? We have to be diligent with what they're doing. We have to listen to what they're saying when they have excuses or reasons for what they're doing. But then we also have to be willing to fire a subcontractor or not work with that subcontractor again. I don't remember the last time we actually fired one in the middle of a job. I'm not sure if I ever have. We have to be willing to move on. And this is something that comes up in the realm of employees all the time. If you're creating lists of things that you're unhappy about and that you need to discuss with your subcontractor and reasons why you think you might not work with them next time, chances are you don't want to work with them next time. I find that those sorts of things and that thought process doesn't come easy when you picture the subcontractor as being part of the team. And so therefore, if you're to that point already where you're considering firing them and you're thinking like, oh man, we need like these 10 things to be different on the next job with them, and they're not adamant that they can resolve that in one project, they're probably not the right contractor for you. Building a better house, moving beyond code and doing high performance or doing high levels of air sealing or upgrading performance or upgrading durability, those are not things that are just simple and easy and doable. They have to be thoughtful and deliberate, and they have to be well executed. And if you don't have someone that's dedicated to moving along with you, they're probably not the right subcontractor for you. So I hear this a lot. Man, our framers won't do that. Find another framer. Or our HVAC guy doesn't do mini splits, but we want mini splits in this house. Okay, mini splits are available nationally. There's another guy in your market that does mini splits. You don't have to try to convince them if they don't want to be convinced. It's not to say don't be flexible, but I am saying there comes a time where many partnerships need to be reassessed, and that reassessment can most likely be an asset for your business. When I bought the company in 2007, we cut loose half of our subcontractors immediately when I bought the firm. And I was like, these guys do okay work, but we're not trying for okay anymore. We're trying for excellent. Or, hey, I want to change and do this one thing different with our concrete contractor at the time. He said, yeah, we don't do it that way. And I said, okay, can we try? And he said, yeah, we just don't do it that way. We're not set up to do it that way, and we're not going to do it that way because that's stupid. And I said, okay, that's fine. We will find another contractor. I respect your decision to do things the way you think is correct. It's fine. And we parted ways, amiably, I might add. So it is very important to understand that part of your subcontractor relationship also most times or sometimes will include the dissolving of that partnership. So it might not be easy to think about, but as a general contractor, you got to be willing to do what's best for your company. That's a point where doing what's best for your company is important. So don't forget that you have that in your back pocket as well. We don't ever threaten to fire people or anything like that, by the way. We don't ever go, if you don't do this my way, I'm going to fire you. We just say, hey, I need this to be resolved on the next project. And then if it doesn't get resolved on the next project, then we just move on. And we let them know why we're moving on. Okay. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter today. There's 2 emails a week. You're going to miss stuff if you don't have the newsletter. Don't forget to follow me, Jake Bruton, on Instagram. And don't forget to follow the Unbuild It podcast. That is Peter Yost, Steve Basic, and myself talking building science, the business of building, sometimes horrible dad jokes, sometimes Steve breathing heavy into the mic. He doesn't listen to the whole video, so I don't have to worry about him catching me saying that. Thank you for watching today. Have a good day. Don't forget that you can fire a subcontractor.